Good morning, YouTube. This is Aaron with N.A.S. Garage. Let's get started today, huh?
Not what I expected, honestly, not at all.
Good morning, YouTube. How you doing this morning? It's a beautiful day here at N.A.S. Garage. We have some cool stuff we're going to take care of today. As you see, the rear end is not together anymore because it didn't work. So I'm going to go over a new design, and we're going to try and do that one instead. I'm going to go with a 5-link suspension instead of the 3-link, just to make sure everything's a little more stable. I also have to make a whole bunch of eyelets and nut and bolt combinations for my connecting arms. What do you want to call them? Yep, this should be fun. So let's get at it. Okay, so as you see here, I've basically taken everything back apart. This is one of the hubs here that I made, and I haven't modified this one. I did modify this one already. I haven't drilled it out, but you can see that this one has this tab on it still with just the one hole, which did not work having it like this. Had the 2 links back here, one up here. It just wasn't right. I would have to add links in here, so instead of that I just basically welded on another piece of steel onto this, another angle, and I'll drill those out, and mount some stuff on that, and that'll be the 4-link, and then from the 4-link I will have a connection for this long one that connects into the 4-link somewhere. Also, it'll probably connect right where the shock mount is. Honestly, I'm thinking that's where I'll put that connector, coming out right where the shock mount is, connecting to the shock. So I'll probably end up cutting these. I'm not going to need the whole length of it. I'm only going to need from like here to here or something, and then I'll have to squeeze it like I did here and find some of these. We'll see how that goes. I know I got one laying around somewhere. I don't know if I have another one, but I know I got one. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. Other than that, yeah, it's coming along pretty good. We can, the engine is just sitting in there still. I want to pull this out. I need to cut it and pull it out, take this bar out, because it's, it's kind of in the way of stuff. So, yeah, it's kind of in the way of stuff. So we're going to go ahead and take that out too. Alright, so let's get at it. Okay, so here's what I got figured out. In order for me to start rebuilding this new rear end, I need to build a box that's going to hang down, have 2 bearings on it, and it's going to have a place for those shafts there to slide in and out of. There's one of the bearings right there, and there's a pivot block right there. So those are the 2 bearings I'm going to use. That this one here came out of the snowmobile. This one here my brother had on the shelf in one of these cabinets. They said I could use it. So, and they're both the same. So that's the cool thing, is they're both the same size. So they both fit over top of these shafts. So I just need to figure out how wide this needs to be, so I can weld it together and then start building the 4-link, which is here. This is the redesign that I made. Like so. Just look at it from the top. This here is actually a brake caliper, or a brake and a brake and a sprocket next to each other. But what I found is I may be able to put them a lot closer than I thought, depending on how big the sprocket is in comparison to the rotor and the caliper. So yeah, I gotta look at that. So yeah, essentially it's just, you can see it really closely, but basically going to take some nuts and bolts and some pipe and make a bunch of eyelets for these areas here. All those areas are all going to need some nut and bolt made eyelets, then nut and bolts there. It's going to be a 4-link here, then the 5th link. It's not in this picture, but it's going to connect out here where the shock is. The shock is going to come down here, and I'm going to make this a bottom. The bottom two are going to H together and connect underneath the spindle here. And that's where I'll put the shock at. So, should work. Should be good. So I have this over here. These are parts for my brother's dirt bike. There's a brand new sprocket. 55, 52 sprocket. So it's a 52 sprocket that he's putting on, and I'm gonna get the old one, which it's not that bad, nothing, you know. So we shouldn't have any problem handling the 30 horsepower. Maybe a lightweight. So basically, what I got to do is I'm gonna use this one here to make an adapter out of this piece here. This came out of a big chunk of machinery that I tore apart. You'll probably end up seeing that video. That was pretty cool, some of the stuff that I got out of it. But this big, huge gear, I'm basically going to turn it down in the lathe so that it's thinner here. You know, make it a little thinner here, cut that back so it's flat. And I could drill holes through it to match this sprocket. And then I'll lay this down just a little bit here to thin it out so I can fit this rotor over top of it like this, so the rotor will slide on the top of that side and fit into it. And then I can weld this, or not this new rotor, but obviously the old rotor that comes off of a Honda will be the one I use. I can weld it onto this to make the rotor and an adapter for the sprocket. That way I can actually stop the rear chain and everything when I hit the brakes. This will be like the main hub for the drive and brake assembly all in one. It'll have to get welded up really nice. But I can lathe this out to the size of the pipe I already lathed earlier. Now this pipe here, I put on the lathe and I rounded it so that it fits over both of these axles, splines. Fits over this one. Each one is special. So, and then it just kind of snaps in really good. So, fits over that one, and then this side fits over this side. And basically what I'm going to do with this is once I get that adapter plate and stuff able to slide on this, I'll put the bearings on this, I'll slide this on, I'll drill a hole through here and through this axle so I can put a pin through it to kind of lock these axles in. Maybe like a hardened steel pin, and if that doesn't work, then I'll just weld it. And if I need to get it off, I'll grind it, whatever. But yeah, this one here, I did on the lathe earlier, like last night. I didn't really film it. It didn't take that long to do. But this is an axle shaft from an Audi CV axle shaft. So it's like a torque tube. So it's pretty strong. It's like hardened steel. It should be able to handle a lot of torque. I didn't have to lay it out the inside very much. And I just cleaned the outside off. It was very hard to do. But yeah. There's the other piece of it. I'll show you. Oh, yeah. Here. So, essentially this is what it came off of. This thing. And the other one. So, and it was already this hollow on the inside. That's what surprised me. It was that thin walled on the inside already. So if it could handle, well, this car had like 300 horsepower that came off of. I would hope this piece could handle 30 horsepower. So I'm just going to lay it out to fit over top of that, so it slides over this, and then I'll be able to weld this, and I'll be able to change out any sprocket I want. Although the rotor would never be able to get changed out, ever, because it'll get welded on. But whatever, it's fine. It should last a long time. And if it doesn't, whatever, I'll cut the welds off and redo it. however we do it, but it should last a long time. So yeah, let's get to milling this down, taking this out of the lathe and laving it down, and figuring out if we can make it all work. Hopefully it does, and we'll see this come together real quick. All right, let's get to it. now I gotta drill out the holes for the sprocket adapter side. And then once those are drilled out, we can check to see if it will fit. Hopefully it does, that'd be really cool. And everything works good, just how it's supposed to. Use a little bit of oil here. And then, we'll do weight. So we'll move it, tap the next two holes, drill our pilots, and then drill our actual hole. I already hit these with a punch to designate the holes. As you can see, 1, 2, 3. All these all match up a certain way. Where it's actually for like 2 different bolt patterns, but hopefully they're for that dirt bike. I know they're for that sprocket, and for that, if it goes on that dirt bike, then it should work. All right. Well, this is the sprocket adapter piece I made for the axle. Here's the axle piece where those 2 drive shafts go in. This slides through here like that. I'm going to put a bushing inside of there. That's why it's kind of a little shaky, but this side's nice and tight. This sprocket goes right on there, lines up with the holes. Alright, so there's that, nice and smooth. Now what I do with this is the one I'll be using. And basically I cut that out so that I can, just slips right on there. You can see, right through the back here. I'm going to weld that up really nice so that that'll be solidly connected to this hub. It'll look just like that. Alright, so here is our adapter we made. Here's our rotor. Slips right on there. Nice and tight. Alright. I'm gonna grab the welding mask. The welder on. Give her a good weld. Gonna do it in quadrants though. That's it. All right, everybody. So it took all day, but we got that part made. This is the rear caliper and sprocket mount. It's a universal sprocket mount that I had to lay down and make fit and work, and now this whole rear axle assembly should take bearings there and there and go up there and be freaking awesome. So yeah. So that's I'm Aaron, and that's been N.A.S. Garage. So hope you enjoyed. Later.